Also brings you Movie Palace Memories, a special look at America's majestic theaters. Plus, AMC host Bob Dorian shares the inside stories of each month's featured movies. There's even a column where you can write to Bob with your movie questions. To order AMC Magazine and save 50% off the cover price, call 1-800-535-7700. Use your Visa or MasterCard, or send a check or money order for $12.95 to this address. American Movie Classics Magazine, where the golden age of Hollywood lives on.
Romance Classics is brought to you by Walden Books. Walden Books, your best source for romance books.
I was watching today's romance classic, Breakfast at Tiffany's, and petting my 25-pound red cat. Suddenly I understood why I always wanted a huge red cat. It's because Audrey Hepburn had one. Audrey Hepburn is the only actress that took my breath away. She had everything: compassion, humility, grace, and style. When I was in school, we all wanted to buy the pink Brooks Brothers shirt, the Toreador pants, the ballet slippers that would transform us into that ethereal creature. She had that effect on everyone. When she and George Peppard filmed a scene at the New York Public Library, 22,000 blasé New Yorkers showed up to gawk. And when they filmed across from the women's prison in Greenwich Village, the inmates would shout obscenities at the crew until Audrey would step out. Then the women would quiet down. She even captivated the irascible Truman Capote, who wrote the book Breakfast at Tiffany's. In his novella, Holly Golightly is a lady of the night who once was in love with her brother. Holly's also pregnant with a love child. The screenplay just made her sort of kooky. But when Capote saw Audrey on the screen, he said, "This film is a creation of its own, not my book. No complaints, though. It's excellent." The film went on to earn 5 Oscar nominations, including Best Actress, for her happy-go-lucky Holly Golightly. Let's join her for Breakfast at Tiffany's.
The first Broadway play I ever saw was Ondine, starring Audrey Hepburn and her husband, Mel Ferrer. I was a scholarship student in boarding school, and a friend's wealthy parents took us to a matinee and then backstage to meet the stars. Of course, I was terrified, but I managed to blurt out to Audrey how much I loved her performance. She looked me in the eyes, this beautiful creature in her tiny sea nymph costume, and said, "Oh, I'm so thrilled you liked the play, and thank you so much for taking the trouble to come backstage and tell me." I've never forgotten that. 25 years later, I was backstage again, this time at the Academy Awards. And there, at the edge of the crowd, getting her own coffee, was Audrey. I went up to her and repeated the story of our first meeting long ago and the strange way which she touched my life. There's never been anyone like Audrey Hepburn. Please be with me next week for more great stars in another romance classic.
Romance Classics is brought to you by Walden Books. Walden Books, your best source for romance books. Stay tuned as we salute Gary Cooper with an action-packed double feature today on AMC.
Our tribute begins with a sagebrush classic directed by William Wyler, The Westerner, co-starring Walter Brennan in an Oscar-winning performance. Then Gary Cooper stars again in William Wellman's Beau Geste with Ray Milland and Robert Preston. And later tune in for the lavish adventure classic Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, featuring John Hall and Maria Montez. Don't miss the excitement today, only on AMC.